asked yourself about the man behind the creation of Fanta, his name was Max Keith. A visionary, Max Keith was born into a world that was rapidly changing, where innovation was the key to survival. His early life was marked by an insatiable curiosity and a knack for recognizing opportunity where others saw none. Max Keith's journey into the beverage industry was not one of happenstance. From a young age, he had a fascination for the chemistry of flavors, a passion that would later prove instrumental in his career. His entry into the world of fizzy drinks began with his appointment at the Coca-Cola Company, a global powerhouse in the beverage industry. This marked the start of an adventure that would lead to the creation of a drink that is now a household name across continents. In Germany, the land of beer and bratwurst, Max Keith rose through the ranks to become the head of Coca-Cola GmbH, the German branch of the company. His leadership was marked by innovation, resilience, and an unwavering commitment to the company's growth. He was a man who knew the importance of adapting to changing circumstances, a trait that would soon be put to the ultimate test. In the days leading up to the Second World War, Germany was a nation on the brink. The impending conflict would create unprecedented challenges for businesses operating within the country. As head of Coca-Cola GmbH, Max Keith was acutely aware of the difficulties his company would face. Yet, he remained undeterred, determined to keep the business afloat amidst the storm. The war would disrupt supply chains, cutting off Germany from the rest of the world. This meant that the ingredients necessary to produce Coca-Cola would no longer reach the country. However, Max Keith viewed this not as a setback, but as an opportunity to create something new, something uniquely German. Little did he know that his position would soon challenge him to create a drink that would outlive the tumultuous times and become a popular beverage worldwide. As Max Keith was making his mark in the beverage industry, a dark cloud was looming over the world, the outbreak of the Second World War. A storm was brewing that would change the course of history and the fate of many, including our protagonist, Max Keith. The Second World War, a conflict of unprecedented scale and devastation, broke out in September 1939. It was a war that involved the vast majority of the world's nations, including all the great powers, which eventually formed two opposing military alliances, the Allies and the Axis. It was the most widespread war in history, and it directly involved more than 100 million people from over 30 countries. As countries mobilized for war, international trade was severely impacted. The global conflict led to a significant decrease in the exchange of goods between nations. This was particularly true for nations embroiled in conflict, where blockades and restricted access to resources became the norm. Germany was no exception. One of the key elements affected by this blockade was the supply of Coca-Cola syrup to Germany. Coca-Cola had been enjoying popularity in Germany since its introduction in the 1920s. However, with the onset of the war, the import of the key ingredient to make this beloved beverage was cut off. As the war raged on, the supply of Coca-Cola syrup dwindled down to nothing. At the heart of this dilemma was Max Keith. As the head of Coca-Cola in Germany, he was faced with the challenge of keeping the business afloat despite the lack of Coca-Cola syrup. He couldn't simply shut down operations and wait for the war to end. He had a workforce to consider, a market to serve, and a brand to uphold. Max Keith, now faced with a dwindling supply of Coca-Cola, had to think fast and innovate. He was left with no choice but to explore new possibilities, to invent a new drink that could be produced locally. Thus, in the face of adversity, the idea for Fanta was born. But that, dear listeners, is a story for the next scene. In the midst of war and scarcity, an opportunity was born, and so was Fanta. As the war raged on, supplies from Coca-Cola became a rare commodity in Germany. Yet Max Keith, the man at the helm of Coca-Cola's German operations, refused to let his business crumble. He saw an opportunity in the adversity, a chance to create something new, something uniquely German. Keith, along with a dedicated team of chemists, began experimenting with ingredients that were readily available in war-torn Germany. They turned to whey and apple pomace, byproducts of the nation's food industry that were often discarded as waste. The goal was simple yet challenging, to create a soft drink that could rival the taste and appeal of Coca-Cola. After countless trials and errors, they finally hit upon a winning formula. The resultant drink was a far cry from the classic cola flavor, but it had a unique, vaguely citrusy taste that quickly caught on. The new beverage was a hit, a testament to the ingenuity and resourcefulness of Keith and his team. But what about the name? Where did Fanta come from? The answer lies in the German word fantasy, which translates to imagination in English. Keith asked his team to let their fantasy run wild when they were brainstorming a name for the new drink, and thus the name Fanta was born, a nod to the creativity and imagination that went into its creation. Despite the grim backdrop of the Second World War, Fanta was a beacon of hope and resilience. It was a product born out of necessity, but it quickly became more than just a drink. It was a symbol of the indomitable human spirit, proof that even in the most challenging times, innovation and creativity can thrive. Despite the harsh conditions of the war, Fanta thrived and became a symbol of resilience. Fanta, born out of necessity, was about to undergo a transformation in sunny Italy. In the mid-50s, Italy was witnessing the rise of a new player in the soft drink market. Dr. Ermelino Matarazzo, a savvy businessman and innovator, decided to take the Fanta concept and give it a distinct Italian twist. In the bustling city of Naples, he introduced a new version of Fanta, one that was orange-flavored and bubbly, a deviation from the original, yet still capturing the spirit of the brand. Dr. Matarazzo's version of Fanta quickly became a hit among the Italian populace. The tangy orange flavor, coupled with the effervescent bubbles, was a refreshing change from the traditional beverages of the time. It was a taste of the new, the exciting, the avant-garde, and people couldn't get enough of it. News of this Italian sensation soon reached the ears of the Coca-Cola Company. Intrigued by the popularity of this new version of Fanta, the company decided to investigate further. What they found was a drink that had captured the hearts of Italians and was poised to conquer the rest of Europe. Recognizing the potential of this Italian Fanta, the Coca-Cola Company decided to make a move. They approached Dr. Matarazzo with an offer to buy the rights to his version of Fanta. For them, this was an opportunity to expand their brand in Europe and beyond by incorporating a product that already had a strong foothold in the market. Dr. Matarazzo, seeing the potential for his creation to reach a global audience, agreed to the deal. Thus, in 1958, the Coca-Cola Company officially acquired the rights to the Italian version of Fanta. This marked a significant milestone in the history of Fanta, as it transitioned from a wartime necessity to a global sensation. So there you have it, the story of how Fanta, born out of the struggles of war, found new life in the vibrant city of Naples and went on to become a household name around the world. In 1958, the Coca-Cola Company purchased the rights to Fanta, marking a new chapter in its history. From its humble beginnings to its worldwide recognition, Fanta's journey is nothing short of remarkable. From a soda birthed out of necessity in World War II Germany to a globally recognized brand, Fanta's story is as rich and vibrant as its flavors. Originally created by Max Keith from food waste with a vaguely citrusy taste to keep his business afloat during the war, Fanta has not just survived but thrived, transforming into a beloved beverage enjoyed across the globe. It stands as a testament to the ingenuity and resilience of the human spirit, even in the face of dire circumstances. Over the years, Fanta has evolved and expanded, much like a kaleidoscope of flavors. There are now over 70 different varieties of this drink, making it a unique brand that caters to a variety of tastes. From the classic orange to exotic flavors like elderberry and passion fruit, Fanta offers a rainbow of choices to its consumers. It's not just the flavors that have spread far and wide. Fanta is now marketed in more than 190 countries around the world. Its reach spans continents, cultures, and languages, truly making it a global brand. And it all began with a man who refused to let a war close his business, who instead created a new soft drink out of the resources he had at hand. But perhaps the most surprising facet of Fanta's legacy is its historical connection to the Nazis. Born out of a time of conflict and scarcity, Fanta serves as a reminder of the power of innovation and creativity in overcoming adversity. It's a history that's as unexpected as it is fascinating, adding another layer to the drink's already rich story. So next time you sip on a refreshing Fanta, remember the fascinating history that bubbles beneath its sweet surface. A history of resilience, innovation, and adaptability. A history that, much like its flavors, is diverse, vibrant, and full of surprises.